Now we'll bring you an update on the Imo prison break in Nigeria's southeastern region. More than 80 fleeing inmates who escaped from the custodial center in the state's capital have voluntarily returned. A source at the Nigerian Correctional Service disclosed that those who returned are mainly on awaiting trial, those who have less prison terms, and those who are about to complete their terms. But none of the hardened and condemned inmates who escaped have returned. Now, gunmen, whom the police said were members of the indigenous people of Biafra, had attacked the correctional facility and freed over 1,800 inmates on Monday. Security expert Kabir Adamu joins me now on the news for an expert's view. Good to have you join me, Kabir. Let's start like this. As a security expert, were you expecting the kind of attack that happened on that prison facility in Imo State on Tuesday?
So yes, Suleiman, good evening. I have been keeping record of the attacks on security force formations in my consultancy. And at the time of, on the 5th of April, when the attack on the Owerri Correctional Services occurred, already 40 of such incidences had been documented from January to that date. So in a way, you can say I wasn't too surprised. The fact that 40 had already happened, and we didn't see any clear response by the Nigerian security agencies to find out who were behind those 40 incidences, and more importantly, to prevent the occurrence of further attack against security formations. Then to that extent, we were not too surprised.
Well, it looks like deja vu. The Boko Haram, recall, started attacking police facilities to announce their presence years back. Do you see this as a trend amongst insurgents in Nigeria, or just another coincidence?
So this is a typical scenario where non-state actors who want to declare either an insurgency or an insurrection will go about more or less their modus operandi. So attack security force formation, instruments of coercion of the state, weaken them, and in that process acquire additional weaponry, and then now declare the insurrection or the insurgency or whatever it is that they want to declare. So that is more or less a textbook exercise or scenario, and that exactly is what happened in the Northeast. It also appears to be what is happening in the Southeast. Now, as far back as when EndSARS happened last year, this same scenario had showed itself. And so the fact that from EndSARS to now, we're seeing a continuation of the same script tells me clearly that this is an agenda, and that agenda, unfortunately, does not forebode very good for the Nigerian state.
Certainly not a good time for Nigeria, as it would seem as if there is, some, security challenge in the 6 geopolitical zones of that country. So what's the implication of this kind of attack on those meant to keep the peace in Nigeria?
Like I indicated earlier on, Suleiman, that's an attack on the state. Clearly, the implication is that if the government does not respond to this with the kind of seriousness that it deserves, then unfortunately it would open a window for, as it were, the weakening of the authority of the state. Several other non-state actors would also, in a manner, attempt to do the same thing. And before we know it, you would see different insurrections, insurgencies in almost all the 6 geopolitical parts of the state. In one way, what is happening in the Southeast is most likely a reflection of what is happening in the Northeast and Northwest of Nigeria. These non-state actors in the Southeast have observed how government has sort of curtailed and, as it were, failed to take necessary action against the non-state actors that are operating in the Northeast and Northwest. And so very likely these elements doing the Southeast are testing the ground to see the response of government. And unfortunately, they've been doing this for almost 5-6 months now, and government has not responded in the manner that you would expect when the authority of the state is being questioned or challenged.
Many thanks for your time, Kabiru Adamu.